Some of the roles between liberals to conservatives seem to flip. What I mean by that, in some ways, liberals are becoming less liberals and conservatives are becoming less conservative, only in some ways. So we have the usual, for example, immigration. Everything is still normal. Liberals are more into not open borders necessarily. Not everyone are open, but a bit more open about immigration. Conservatives are still not into it. But let's take something new, is the shutdown. So cities and states that are more liberal or seem to be lingering or opening much later, and lockdown is much more strict than conservative states or cities. So we have that about around shutdown, they're more conservative in a way, even though they're supposed to be more liberal. The opening up, we see conservatives opening up much more quickly. We have Texas, we have Arizona, we have Nevada, and other states that are opening up. I think Georgia even started the opening up. So they're opening up much more quickly. We also have something that is for a long time now is about free speech, that liberals are more likely to curtail some free speech in saying. I'm not getting into the question whether it's right or wrong. I'm trying to get like an impartial view on the situation. I'm not getting into the question. But they're more likely to say some things should not be said. In some way, they are curtailing free speech. And conservatives are saying, no, everything should be okay. We have a few other cases of conservatives being more liberal in a way about sexuality. They have much more place to go about gay marriage, for example, about sexuality in general, clothing, and etc. They're more open. So the question that posed is whether roles are changing. I can say that for sure there is some flimsiness, or there is some things that are overlap right now. But another thing that I've thought is that in a way putting conservatives and liberal into a box does not work. You cannot put these things into a box. It doesn't work this way, because it grows much like an organ or something like that. Not an organ exactly is a good way. I would say even like a cancer, both of them. It grows wherever it can or whenever it wants. It doesn't follow very strict rules. So it could be that in one way there is more, the liberals are going this way, but in another way it retract. So there's no consistency in a way in the views. You could argue, they always say that there is consistency, and they try to portray the situation as consistent views, but I would say that it's not always consistent, as we are seeing. There's always, it goes from right to left, and which makes sense that it grows like an organ, because this is a society. Society is much like a breathing organism, a living organism which moves and grows to all kinds of directions based on media, based on people's views, based on current events. So we can see that it's not a consistent view. It's not an ideology. It's not. It's a reactionism, I would say, to current events and past events and future events, which not necessarily follows whatever you would think, whatever you want to slap your label on it. It doesn't work this way. It's a little more complicated than that. And that's why we're seeing this change in roles in a way, which I think that it's still a valuable idea, that there is some change in roles. It's not necessarily that in the future it would not go back to where it was before, but there is definitely I see some trendiness of changing roles. And it would be interesting also to see how it will evolve, and whether people who are more into liberty will be more conservative in general, and people who are more conservative maybe will be more liberals. and see maybe the roles will eventually go the other way, or maybe not. Maybe people will say, okay, this is too much. We'll have to see how things will evolve. Thank you.